Okay, so for PowerPoint 3B, we're kind of culminating this, combining Word, combining Excel, and how those go into PowerPoint. So we're going to add a table, a chart, and then a graph. All right, first I'm going to change this design. Hopefully this part is review. I'm just going to change it to something a little bit more plain. And I'm also going to remove that background. Actually, nah, let's leave the background. It's okay. Okay, so let's come to trail usage. Now for this, I'm on slide 2. I'm going to click on this placeholder and click on table. So insert table is one of the options. Let's make it a 3x4 table, so 3 columns, 4 rows. And you'll notice it doesn't spread it out, like it puts the bare minimum. So I have to go to this layout tab to change the height and the width. So I'm going to change the height to 4 inches, and let's change the width to 11. Okay, now let's make sure that's centered. Oops. And to do that, I'm going to align it to the center, so it kind of shifts it a little bit. And also, I want everything I typed to be centered. So I selected everything in the table. I'm going to come to middle and center, center. All right, now let's start typing some data. So we're going to say for this path, there's 2 different types of path. There's dirt path and there's paved ones. And then we have 3 different types of riders. We have youth, adult, and senior. So then let's say the youth, they're kind of split 50-50. Adults, they prefer the paved a little bit more. And senior, they kind of lean to the paved. Oh, I'm sorry, adults prefer dirt. Okay, so we can change the style, right? Come to table design, and you have table styles. So I'm going to give this a different style. All right, so I'll use this purple one. We can do banded rows, so that means the rows are the same color, or we can do banded columns, where the columns are the same color. You can do a header row, not header row, a total row, not total row. So you have these table style options in the corner. You also have some effects. So let's select this first row, and let's go ahead and make them a little bit bigger. We have some quick styles, so you can do some of those. You can also, make them a little bit bigger. Let's do some effects, so we can do bevel. All right, so I'll pick this first one. And then if you're like me, you're wondering why is there this blank table, you can totally remove that. In your homework, it's not going to ask you to do that part, but just to show you, I could take away the borders, take away the fill, take away the effects. And now when I click away, it's like that cell was never there. All right, so those are tables, kind of the quick overview of them. Now let's go to slide 3. This time we're going to insert a chart. All right, so insert chart. And then it's going to ask you, well, what kind of chart do you want? So let's go ahead and insert this first one, a cluster column. And then it's going to pop up this Excel sheet. And so we're going to actually type in this Excel sheet. Okay, so we're going to use that information we typed in slide 2 to help us create a chart for slide 3. Now I'm going to say, let's say series are these numbers, the colors. So we're going to categorize this by the type of paths, dirt and paved. All right, and we don't have this last one, so I'm actually going to delete that. So even though I delete it, it gives you this kind of weird space, so I still have to actually move the colors and tell the colors I only want these to be selected. And then our categories are 3 categories. We're youth, adult, and senior. So that means, right, my colors need to come up again. So that way we can get rid of category 4. So you notice you don't actually have to delete that category 4. You can just drag the colors up, and now they're gone. So now let's add in the numbers. So 50-50, then it was 75-25, and then it was 40-60. So, right, save is gone because it's connected to the PowerPoint. So I'm just going to close it. It's automatically saved. Here it is. Well, we don't need the title because the title's up here. So I'm going to actually click on it and delete it. Gone. You could have also came to the plus and unchecked it there. We can come up to the styles, right? Give it a new style. We can change different things, the colors, right? If we don't like the certain colors that we were given, we can change those. Kind of similar to what we've already seen and done. Okay, so now we just added a really quick chart. It looks clean, it looks professional. Charts and tables for some reason make your presentations look, right, like they're more serious, like you know what you're talking about because you have some numbers and pictures. So let's add one more picture with numbers, and that's going to be a graph. So even though it's a graph, we're still going to click Insert Chart, but we're going to do this line. Okay, so we're going to click OK. All right, and it gives you numbers, but I want to show you something. Let's say you type in all your numbers, you close it, and they're like, oh no, I messed up on one of the numbers. It's okay. You can come up to Edit Data, and it's going to pop up those numbers. So I'm going to click on Edit Data. Hopefully yours is still open. If not, it's going to pop open. There we go. And then I'm going to start to edit this data. So let's say we have rentals and sales. So people who rent bikes, people who buy bikes, and let's give us some years. So we'll say 2017, 2018, 2019. All right, we can't do 2020 because it's not done yet. And let's go ahead and give some numbers. So we'll say 4,500, 3,740. And you see as I'm typing these, the graph in the background is actually changing. So then 5,280. Sales were 10,750, 4,625, and 1,103. Okay, so click away and then it'll show you what's colored. Well, I don't need series 3, so let me clear that. I don't need category 4, so let me move the colors. Okay, so this is what I want. Now that I see it over here, I'm going to close it. This time, let's go ahead and give it a title. So I'm going to change chart title to Income Analysis. And we can play with this a little bit. So that looks good. We have 0, our years are on the bottom, rentals and sales. We can change the style again, right? We can make this bigger. So I can change the title to be bigger. Hopefully we're remembering some of these edits from our Excel unit. I can click on the lines and maybe give these some effects. So I can give these a shadow effect. All right, we can see the line kind of pops out a little bit. Oops, did I forget to press OK for that one? There we go. All right, so now my lines have shadows. I can change those colors if I want. So again, I can change the background, or I can change the color since I've already went to the trouble of putting some shadow in it. I can change the colors also there. So fill, right, I can change these. Let's change that one too. Orange is a little bit harder, so let's do green. All right, actually green doesn't stand up. And so I'm gonna do blue instead. Okay, purple, finally. All right, so we have those. And now let's do some animation, because we talked about animation in 3A. Animation, just like SmartArt, is going to be different when you do it for graphs. So I'm going to come up, make sure I have my chart selected. I'm going to come up to animations, and we can add some animations. So I can say up here, and notice it all appears at once. So I come to effect options, and I can do by series, or I can do by category. And all right, that's kind of weird. So maybe instead of by category, I want to do by series. So it's going to do one line at a time. And maybe that makes more sense. So sometimes you want to play with that, look at it, see what it looks like before you publish it. So now let's go to slide 3, see what this looks like. Again, let's do some animations. And if that's taking too long, I can decrease it, right, the duration. And effect options, we have different shapes we can choose from. And we can also, here we have multiple things. So we can do elements in a category. Taking so long. So it does a use first, and then it's going to do the adult, or we can do elements in a series. So it does the dirt first, and then it does the paved. So you have some options in how to animate your charts and graphs. Okay, that is 3B.